Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Cape Rugby TV time. We talk about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby and of course, as I've mentioned, the extensions thereof. You might think it's not busy at the moment, but it's very busy. There's Stormers, there's Club Rugby, there's Women's Rugby. We're going to talk about all that. But big thanks, of course, to our partners on board with us. Score Energy Drinks. You can win yourself a case of Score during the course of the show. And of course, Mchem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. We'll talk about Mchem a little bit later during the course of the show. Nice topics for you today, but let me first welcome our panel. Jerome Parvater. Jerome, welcome back.
Yeah, JP, thanks. Good to be back. And I just told Nazim now it's almost December, and the two of us, never had a break since the 3rd of January when we started with the Curry Cup. And it seems like it's just getting more and more. So I don't know when it's going to stop, JP.
Don't know when it's going to stop, but now you've let the cat out of the bag. We have our guest back with us. Nazim Adams is back, Head of Education at Western Province Rugby. Nazim, welcome back, Benia.
Thanks, JP. It's been a while, but I'm glad to be back. Like Jerome said, I mean, we've been busy from January, and it seems we're going to be start in January again, this coming next year.
Well, what do you do with guys like Jerome who already have got their foot in holiday mode?
It's tough to keep me positive. But
it's tough to keep you, but it's a fact though, Jerome. I mean, if you look at the administration that you guys do, it's not everything that you see on the field. 90% of the work is done off the field.
yeah, it's exactly, JP. I mean, there's all sorts of meetings and all sorts of, we're seeing players, we see coaches, we have meetings with our staff meetings, it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
Nazim, this is of course the perfect time of the year to focus on education, which is of course your speciality. Get your coaching courses done, and you're doing a lot of that at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the last couple of weeks we already have done coaching courses, and for coming week we have a level 2 on the 2nd and 3rd of December, and then we'll end off on the 9th with another level 1 coaching course.
Jerome, when these coaching courses are going on, it's obviously important that one is taking we spoke about this I think last week, that you're taking information back. You do your coach's course, but also going to help the other coaches involved at your club.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why certain guys have level 1, level 2, certain guys have level 3 at clubs. So with that experience and what they take off the courses that Nazim do, we expect them to go back and also help the coaches who does not have level 2 and to encourage them. So a lot of coaches do that, and I mean, they share information, which is good.
Yeah, Nazim, you guys are of course on the same premises as the DHL Stormers. They're busy playing in the URC and the Heineken Cup. Do you step away from the educational side of things sometimes and go to help the players?
Look, we're busy with Jerome's initiative with the club players at this point. So at night, I don't know where Jerome get all the energy, but he's working from 6:30 till 9 o'clock at night as well.
Yeah.
That's besides the fact that we're busy right through the day as well. Yeah. And we're doing our coaching courses, but that's all part of the game.
Yeah, I mean you're all part of the same, same structure.
If you drink Score, Nazim, it will help you.
All right, folks, well, talking about the DHL Stormers, of course, they are in training at the moment. Good result for them last week against Clermont, and then this week they take on the Dragons in Quebec. We went down to the High Performance Centre where we managed to catch up with some of the guys training behind the scenes. We also spoke to DHL Stormers loose forward, Junior Pokomela, as well as old stalwart from Western Province Rugby, and he's back at the DHL Stormers, Jean de Jong. See what the guys had to say. This feature was brought to you by Mchem 24-hour pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks.
Yeah, it's massive, man. Massive start for us. Obviously, last season, we didn't know what to expect, but now we know exactly what to expect, whether we play here or whether we play overseas. And now I think we're better prepared, you know. So we know what we're facing almost each and every week from Irish or Welsh or Scottish international or Scottish teams. So I think, yeah, we've had a massive start. And obviously last week we had a massive game, you know, in front of the faithful fans. So it was lovely to be able to play again after a long break. So we're happy to be back. Yeah, lovely when obviously we put out a nice show out there. But obviously there's always a lot of things that you can improve on. You know, every game we try to learn from what we can actually get out of it, whether we lose, whether we win. So it was actually nice to get to play after such a long time. And as you mentioned, obviously not having the box and the senior players here, but a lot of guys stepped up, you know, and obviously an opportunity for everyone, you know, obviously for me as well. So it was an opportunity. So it was so lovely to play and to get the W. Yes, I'm from PE, so hopefully I get to play this weekend. So it's exciting for me. But listen, man, wherever we play, you know, we just want to put out a show and just make our fans proud. It's lovely to go out to PE and get to play there. They haven't had a competitive game, I don't know for how long. So hopefully they can come out in numbers and support us, and hopefully we can put on another good show for them.
Ja, ek moet sê die seisoen lyk baie goed sover. Ek bedoel laas season het ons baie gesukkel 'n bietjie. Ons het begin op toer en 'n paar wedstryde verloor, maar toe het ons baie goed momentum opgetel. Ek dink soos 14 games in 'n ry gewen. Hierdie seisoen lyk ons ook baie goed. Ek dink ons is tweede, derde, ek dink ons is top 4 op die oomblik en die boys speel goeie rugby op die oomblik. So vir ons is dit belangrik om dit game vir game te vat. Jy kan te ver vooruit dinkie. Hoekom? Omdat daar so sulke kompetisies tussen mekaar is. Ek bedoel as die championship wat nou afkom, as Currie Cup wat ook een of ander tyd gaan begin. So is 'n goeie squad, is 'n sterk squad en 'n vol squad. So hopelik kan ons al die spelers gebruik maak om elke wedstryd vas te maak, because ek dink ons speel so 32 games a season en het 'n massive squad nodig en dis wat ons het. Ja, 100% soos ek gesê het, het 'n baie sterk squad nodig as jy so 'n kompetisie wil aanvat, 3 kompetisies in een. Ek bedoel as Varsity Cups, daar staan 'n 20s wat ook tussen inval wat die youngsters kan speel. So jy gaan altyd 'n groot sterk squad nodig gehad en ek moet sê die boys, elke ou wat 'n geleentheid kry van die coach se kante af, wie every coaches besluit om te speel, doen 'n goeie werk. Ek bedoel ons werk hard genoeg, die ouens wat die speel nie, werk hard genoeg om die ouens reg te maak wat speel. So hopelik as hy sy kans kry, dan kan ons dit die moeite werd maak. So en dis wat spansport is en ek bedoel ons as die Stormers, ons geniet dit op die oomblik. Is nog 'n lang seisoen tot June toe, tot die semi-finals en die finals. So ons sien uit. Ons sien baie uit daarna en hopelik kan ons net hard werk en elke wedstryd nou vorentoe net so een vir een vat en die resultate optel.
This feature was brought to you by Mchem 24-hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks. Well, there we go. DHL Stormers training hard. Nazim, let's start with you. Clearly, it's not a 6-month season anymore. It's 12 months of the year now.
Yeah, it's 12 months. When we came here, we were just talking about, we're playing over the festive season. It is unheard of. I know cricket is doing it, but we're not normally doing that. So, playing over Christmas, over New Year, it's going to be tough. That is where rugby is going now.
Yeah. Jerome, Jean was talking there about 32 games in the year, but that's what the fans want as well.
Yeah, look, the people, obviously, they would want to watch rugby every day if they can, but that's why, they play every weekend almost, they play. And what Jean is also saying is if you can't just play with one team, so everybody have to be ready to play. And I think the Stormers got the right mixture now with using a lot of youngsters and a lot of guys who played for us in the Currie Cup this year. That's basically the team, Nazim, that played on Saturday for the Stormers against Scarlet.
Yeah. Right, folks, we're going to carry on talking about the DHL Stormers and their preparation, the URC, and of course the Heineken Cup. We'll take a look at the clubs that are busy in preparation, training pre-season, or should we say off-season and preparation, and we'll talk about our education that's happening at Western Province Rugby as well as women's rugby. They had women's rugby high performance and coaching course this past weekend. We'll talk to Nazim a little bit more about that after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. Nice to have you here, Jerome. We're going to take a look at some of the skills training from the DHL Stormers at the moment. Labib is, of course, involved there. How much of the synchronization between schools, clubs, women's rugby, Stormers, skills, how much of that stays the same? Is it the same for all levels, or do you kind of change the levels as you get more senior?
Look, we obviously adapt and we obviously try to change. Where Wilfred Kibru comes in, he's in charge of the school's rugby, so he do most of the skills, but he do a lot of the skills that Nazim will do with the under 20s, and then what we do with the Akari Cup, and then obviously the URC guys, but in a lesser extent to sort of not to put the youngsters under so much pressure, but the basics of passing and where they will sit and pass or whatever, where the senior guys are on a little bit more up higher level. So when they come to under 20s or when they finish with the schools, we obviously increase the skills levels.
So Nazim, when you're busy coaching the coaches or teaching the coaches, is that you have to build that in, that there's different levels of skills? Do you have to think about the individual and their sort of experience of rugby?
Yeah, I think, JP, if you look at what is a technique, we focus on the technique first. So if you can master the technique, then you progress to mastering a skill. So the skill is when you can do that technique under pressure. And I think that is where the difference is between the youngsters and the Stormers. It might be the same passing drill, but the level of pressure is different.
Well, how do you coach pressure? Can you coach pressure?
Yeah, you can.
Really?
You actually can. What you do is you put them in a game situation.
Right.
The demands of the game is different. So at school level is different than at say Stormers level.
Okay.
So the pressure that you're going to get at Stormers level is so much higher. You have so much less time to execute that skill under pressure.
Do you ever put pressure on the coaches? Because the coaches obviously have pressure on themselves as well during the game.
Yeah, it's part and parcel of that, because it depends who you're playing against.
Yeah.
Because if you're playing against a team that is a world class, then there's a lot of pressure on the coach as well. Because
Can a coach's wheels come off if there's too much pressure in a game time? Have you ever seen it, Jerome, that a coach he doesn't know what to do anymore during the game and that's it?
It can definitely, JP, because the pressure it gets you as a coach if you sit in the box and you see the mistakes your team do. But I mean, a lot of coaches are quite good with it, and then some coaches you can see they throw a Coke bottle or something in the air and they jump in the air. So then you can see now this is too much. So then you get guys like, you get a guy, for example, like Eddie Jones, he will sit there, but you can know that guy is under pressure, but he will sit, he won't show any emotion.
He's so calm, he's completely calm, he's focused, you don't hear him say anything, all mathematical, very mathematical. Folks, but the DHL Stormers are busy training at the moment, they are busy preparing a lot of skill. We went behind the scenes to get some of the skills training. Of course, Labib Levy is skills coach there. And then we also managed to catch up with Namakaba, DHL Stormers loose forward, as well as Marvin Mazibuka, who is currently playing prop for the Stormers. This feature was brought to you by Mchem 24-hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks.
Yeah, I think it was all in all a good performance for the team. Obviously, there's always going to be things like to improve on, and that's what we're here for this week, to just fix those things. But I think we'll always talk about like a seamless transition, and having like a a good squad, good depth, and a good team. And I think the guys really like put up their hands and showed that. There's a lot of guys who played this past week or weekend who've actually like been putting in the meters and everything at training. I'm just happy to see like everyone get the opportunities and actually to use it and show that it's actually inside the Newport Dragons. Sorry. No, looking forward to it. I mean, a few of us played in that calling championship game in PE, and obviously the PE people come with the vibe and everything. I actually like a big like support base of the Stormers, outside of the Western Cape. So looking forward to going out there and playing in front of them. As you said, it's probably it is a home game for us, a home fixture, just obviously because Cape Town, they're preparing for the Cape Town Sevens here. But we're obviously looking forward to being in PE and playing in front of that crowd.
Yeah, Friday was a big test because if you look at like the starting 15, I think everyone that started, none of them played in the final. So like 1 to 15, it was like a complete like new team, Like I mentioned earlier, I think Darbo and the other coaches are trying to get like a little bit of squad depth, or not a little bit, a lot of it. And I think everyone that played on Friday put their hands up, and showed that they deserve to be there. Well, the coaches obviously play a massive role. Like everything's changed. Like obviously I've been here for like a few seasons now and stuff. I mean, from everything, from like pre-season, from how we train. It's not like your traditional like old school like running and training. They're really doing something. They're always coming up with new ideas. It's always brand new. And
This feature was brought to you by Mchem 24-hour pharmacy and Score energy drinks. Well, there we go. Some skills training happening there at the DHL Stormers. And speaking to Namakaba and Marvin Mazibuke. Jerome, Namakaba has really made a name for himself. He's really come out as one of South Africa's top players and a great leader.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the youngsters after school. He came to Cape Town and he's been in our structures, under 21 structures, in junior structures for long, in working his way up through the ranks. And he's still young. I mean, he's only 25, but a great player and a great future ahead of him.
Nazim, talking about players like this, do you think that they will end up one day coaching? Do these players ever come to your educational workshops?
Yeah, some of them
Really?
do. Yes,
Okay.
I think some of them definitely have the skill to become successful coaches. I'm
Yeah.
just making an example of Johan. Johan definitely have, he helped a little bit with under 19s as well, in some of them, and they definitely have the right attitude to become successful coaches.
It must be great for those junior players to rub shoulders with some of the Stormers.
100%, definitely. I mean, it was actually a nice experience with the under 19s to have. At some point, Johan was existing a little bit, Ruan, Skara, and Steph Ungere.
Yeah. Right, folks. Well, of course, we now shift our attention to clubs. Jerome has got a lot of club rugby players who have just undergone some testing. They're busy with the strength and conditioning. And we'll speak to Nazim more about the coaching workshops that are happening in the club space, and, of course, women's rugby coaching workshop that happened this past weekend. But we'll be back after the break. Don't go away. Right, welcome back, everybody. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. Don't forget, not now, but in the next segment, what we call segments, you can win. There you can see it behind me, the Score energy drinks. You can win yourself a case of Score, where every week we take a photograph, we put it on Facebook, and then we ask you to spot the ball. Western Province Rugby is currently busy with the pathway, so to speak, from club rugby to the higher leagues. This is a fantastic scenario where the players who really have performed, am I right, Jerome? The players who have performed during the league structure, you've kept an eye on them, you've done a little bit of talent identification, and now they're heading into, call it like, literally what we almost refer to as your Western Province Dizer team.
Yeah, JP, so as you correct say, so we have guys that we had an eye on, and obviously asked the coaches to nominate a few more players, which they did from Super A and Super B. And we're already on week 4, training Mondays and Wednesday evenings. Yeah. And we have 90 sometimes 70, 60 players at a train, but there's no less than 60 players every training session, which is good. So the guys come in, and one good thing is you see sort of the same faces come, which is also good.
Nazim, this is of course an opportunity also for you to rub shoulders with the coaches that have, in fact, if one thinks about it, those coaches got those players through their league season, they looked after them. Those coaches then coming down to the high performance center also to see what the players are doing and how to get more experience at this level.
Yeah, 100%. That is what you want. You don't want a coach just to do their level 2 and then you don't see him again.
Yeah.
You want to actually take him by the hand and see there's opportunities for them. And I think this is a good initiative. And what is so nice is some of these coaches, they're coming in and we make use of them. They help with the coaching on the day. And that is how they gain experience, by practically being involved. And it's an absolutely fantastic initiative, Jerome.
Right, well, let's take a look at some of the training then behind the scenes of the Western Province Rugby Dizer players. Between 70 and 90 players arriving there have been identified in Western Province as, would we say these are your elites from the league structures?
Yeah, you can say that. I mean, hopefully next year, if there's time, we can go down to the sort of the lower leagues. But we first have to start with Super A and Super B, which is good. So yeah, like I say, hopefully there will be opportunity if there's time.
Well, it's 30 teams.
Yeah.
30 teams. You say you're choosing only 1 or 2 teams. I think a lot of other structures probably don't have that many teams in their entire province. Let's take a look now, training behind the scenes. This feature was brought to you by Mchem 24-hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks.
No, it's amazing to be back. I mean, after 2 years from COVID and being back on the field, it's a great feeling to be here. And yeah, like you said, a full season, it was great. The diversity brings us together. Yes, you learn a lot from each other. You learn a lot from this guy, from that club. You get new insights into the aspects of playing rugby, which is brilliant, and it helps you a lot with your development of rugby. Different coaches have different views, which it ultimately helps you build as a player. It helps you develop your skills because you're not learning something just from one single coach. You're learning something from different coaches, which grows your rugby ultimately.
Was baie nice vir VP om die klaps te betrokke by die system en die bodies is 'n bietjie tam, maar ons gaan ons vat en ons leer baie uit. Ja. Most definitely het kondisioneer jou ook in 'n manier waar jy nooit op daai level met die facilities wat ons glad het of nie so opgeskerp is soos hier nie. So die bodies word gekondisioneer, skills word opgeskerp en ruck time of ja, Het wordt lekker, die skills word opgeknapt. Ons definitely om het op te som, ons leer van die beste af. So kyk op watter level hulle coach en waar hulle nog vir ons opskerp op ons skills. So is maar net 'n voorreg om hier te wees.
This feature was brought to you by Mchem 24-hour pharmacy and Score energy drinks. Right, Clayton Daniels there from Brackenfell, Jerome, and Carl Kloppers from Belhar. Well, in fact, Nazim, let me go to you. Do you have an opportunity to cast an eye on some of these guys? I mean, I'm assuming some of these guys are even still under 20.
Yeah, look, I was here last night with the training session. There's quite a lot of oaks that show a lot of potential.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely players in a club structure that we can use, and that can even come and train with the senior teams.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to make the team, but at least it will be an opportunity to see where they fit in and how good they are.
And a lot of clubs at the moment are busy doing off-season training. Do you talk to the coaches and then give them some tips and hints on what they should be, what they learn here at the High Performance Center?
Yeah, I think with Jerome's meeting in the first with the coaches, those things have been dealt with, and some of the conditioning coaches also had the opportunity to chat with the coaches so that they know what to concentrate on during this time.
Yeah. Right. Well, folks, of course, as you know, every week we go down to Mchem 24-hour pharmacy and we take a look at what's happening at Mchem. As you know, of course, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In case you didn't pick that up, what we actually mean is that Mchem is always open. In fact, I was down at Mchem last week to say hello to Mr. Malach and to Lee and Jill, of course, always available. And again, just the presence, the welcome that everybody gives you when you walk in that door. Again, just to reiterate, 24/7, 7 days a week. I know that sounds strange in terms of office hours, but that literally is the case. And if you were to ask Mr. Mr. Malach at Mchem, what time does he get his keys to open the pharmacy? He'll tell you, well, he doesn't have keys because the pharmacy is always open. It's quite ironic, and it's quite fantastic to know that the pharmacy is always there and always open, available for you. And for those of you that have not been down to Mchem, it's a fantastic store with multiple zones in it, from the health zone, the orthopedic zone, the travel clinic. Upstairs is the restaurant. There's, of course, also the supplement zone. And of course, not to mention the fact that there's dispensary available, always available, and quick service, as well as an additional smaller dispensary for over-the-counter medicine. So folks, really get down to Mchem 24-hour pharmacy. They've got multiple brands, affordable products, and are always chasing what Mr. Malach calls the gold standard, where they look for the best products at high quality, and if they don't have something, all you need to do is ask them, and they'll of course try and find it for you. That's of course Mchem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road, open 24/7. We'll be back after the break. Right, welcome back everybody. We keep talking club rugby. Right, so in studio with me, Jerome Parvater, Western Province Rugby, Nazim Adams, Western Province Rugby, and Nazim's of course Head of Education. Have I got that right, Jerome? Nazim?
Yeah.
And you're of course coach of the under-20s.
Yeah, you're right, JP.
Yeah. Jerome, the players that are playing at the moment, they're not playing without a goal. You're also preparing them for something that looks like it's almost making a return. It's back. The ability to play club rugby, get then identified, come through the ranks, get to the High Performance Center, work with yourselves, Nazim, and the other experts in Western Province. But the goal is to help them further their rugby playing skills, and you have to put that into practice. And what you're bringing back here are matches, because now they get to play, as Nazim said earlier on, in a higher environment, in a pressure environment. The Western Province Dyser team then going to be playing as 2 matches already in January, if I'm right, against Boland and SVD.
Yeah, JP, it's we don't want them just to train. We also need to, because we need to measure them and see where they are.
Yeah.
So we have games. So the first game is on the 21st of January against Boland in Wellington, and then the week after that, the 28th in George against SVD. And then the 4th of February, we have Chester Williams Day, where we have all the universities play. And we'll have this club team playing, and then we'll have a Stormers team and a Curry Cup squad.
Jeez, like, wow, this is almost like an all-star team.
Yeah, so that's on one day. So we can basically take stock, or the Dobson and his group, the URC coaches who never see all on the same day, will be able to see guys. And a lot of these guys, we told them, the guys who's currently in this squad, this club squad, obviously we're going to see how they play in the games against Boland and SVD. And then there are opportunities for them with all the competition going on. It's URC, it's Curry Cup, it's Heineken Cup, it's Varsity Cup. So we're going to run out of players. So they have to be ready if we call on them to play.
Well, you've said this always. You've always said, stay busy, keep playing. Let's take a look at some of the training behind the scenes. This feature was brought to you by Mchem 24-hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I think the year of rugby was great. Everyone coming out of COVID and had this long break where there's no rugby. I think it was definitely an exciting year for a lot of clubs, a lot of players. And I do think it's a great opportunity for the guys training here now. Obviously with next year coming, preparing for next year. It's quite exciting. Yeah, I do think this is obviously a great opportunity for guys to get to know each other. Obviously we've all been opponents throughout the season, and getting to play alongside guys you've played against, I think it's exciting, and the conversation that takes place is always great. A little bit of banter here and there, but I do think it's a great initiative to have all the clubs from around surrounding areas to come together and prepare for something better. Yeah, like I said, it's exciting. I think the interactions with professional coaches is definitely great, and you learn a lot from them. I think for a lot of guys it's probably their first time in a setup like this, so it is a great opportunity, and it's a privilege to get an opportunity to train amongst with great coaches and the amazing facilities. I mean, who doesn't want to train at Western Province?
Definitely, I think it's been a long season. I mean, some of the guys only played, 3 years ago. So it's been a long season, but I think we're just grateful to be back on the field and grateful that we're healthy and we're still being able to run on the field and do what we love. Definitely, if we look at rugby is all about bringing communities together. I mean, a few months ago we were enemies, and now we standing on the same field as friends. So I think it's good for the morale and for the game itself, because I mean, it's been a while being out there with some of the rival clubs, but it's good and it's healthy for rugby. Yeah, I guess we compete against each other, but then again we also compete against ourselves. You know, we do compete against each other, like I said, but we friends afterwards, and it's just great for rugby, and it's good to be in an environment where we get gym facilities, being on the field, getting top class coaching. So I think for us it's just a blessing. Yeah, like you said, not a lot of the guys have been training here, so I think it's just it's an honor being here, being at the high performance center, and being where the best trains. I mean, Springboks also train here, so I think us youngsters look up, and it's good and healthy for the rugby.
This feature was brought to you by Mchem 24-hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks, Devin Martins from Hamilton's, and of course Adrian Parvater from Unimil. Nazim, do you have a lot of Parvaters in the structure?
Yeah, I can't name
Looks
them
like
all.
you're messing with your Parvater. You can't get rid of there. Every corner there's a Parvater. But Jerome, nice to see Hamilton's, Unimil, all bringing players, getting players into the mix. I mean, these are all teams that have, of course, done well in Super Leagues.
Yeah, I must say we're very happy with the guys sending their players, in, and it's top class players also that they send. So we're very happy for them sending them all.
Yeah. What's Boland and SVD doing at the moment? Are they doing the same thing? Are they preparing?
Yeah, they're also preparing, JP. It's going to be a good game for us to see where we are, because they're sort of professional and we're not professional. So it would be good to see on the first game where we are.
Yeah, is it going to be tough?
I think so. I think it will be tough. In the past, we had great successes playing against them, but I think it's going to be tough this time around.
Well, I tell you what is going to be tough is, and Azim, this is the first for you, but what is going to be tough is the spot the ball competition. So we're going to show you a couple of pictures here now, and you've got to try and spot the ball. Because every week we give away a case of Score Energy Drinks to one lucky winner that manages to look at the picture that we take and hide the ball, and we have to spot the ball. We'll give Nazim the first shot, first bite of the cherry then tonight. These are your options: A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. And the picture, of course, again supplied kindly by Zahid Apollos, who has provided us with a picture. Nazim, you want to give this a go. Those are your options.
JP, if my memory serves me right, the last time I was here on the show, I got it right the first time.
Well, let's see if you can get it right the
I
second
don't
time.
think I'm going to get it right.
It's more difficult now.
Yeah, it does look quite difficult.
Yeah, right. So those are your options. Try it. Pick a ball. Pick a quadrant.
I'll go for C3.
All right, Nazim's going for C3. Jerome, where would you like to go?
I'll go C2.
Jerome is going to go with C2, and I'm going to go with B3. Right, folks, let's take a look, and the answer is in A2. Right, it is much more difficult, and congratulations then to Viron Extian. Viron, you are this week's lucky winner of a case of Score Energy Drinks. We'll, of course, reach out to you on Facebook Messenger, and you can come collect your prize. Right, we'll be back after the break. We'll carry on telling you what's happening in club rugby. Of course, at the moment, clubs in action, players in action, getting ready for their first matches against Boland and SVD next year. We'll be back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV. Nazim, one of your big things that you guys have been doing is high performance coaching for women. This past weekend was, of course, we're going to take a look at some of the women's training now, but this past weekend has been a big day in the milestones for the growth of women's rugby in Western Province Rugby. You had a coaching courses specifically for women this weekend?
Yeah, JP, it was very successful. I mean, we have about 30 women attending the course, and the quality was quite good. I was quite surprised with that. It's also important that we need to understand that we need to grow women's rugby. And some of those coaches there, we need to empower them so that they can coach at school level and at club level.
Yeah.
And we have women coaches that coach women, not necessarily men that always coach that. And we need to realize, if you look at schools, most of the teachers are women. You hardly get men teachers or male teachers anymore. So your entry level at coaching, when it comes especially to primary school, is your ladies.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of that, we tick a box.
And this is a great opportunity now for women to join club structures and start coaching at club level, women's teams.
Yeah, 100%, because there is one thing having coaching courses and doing these courses for them. But we also need to have give them an opportunity that they can coach at clubs.
This feature was brought to you by Mchem 24-hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks.
It was nice, but then we learn a lot that side, because most of the time it's the rugby all the way. So we used to be always rugby the whole week, and then on the weekends we're playing. So we didn't know a lot about the side, but yeah, we enjoy. We're back in our home, and then we did the stuff that we must do to prepare next year, but we must help the juniors to try to get in our system. Yeah, in future, because I want to coach, because last year I did coach in schools, in primary schools, so now we must help the others. If someone don't know the thing that we do on the field, you must tell that, okay, try to do this and do this. Yeah, because most of them, they're following us on Instagram, on the site, okay. Then now we're playing with them. We share everything with them on the field. So, yeah, they look to us. Next year, we're going to play with them. We're going to share the field, with the ladies.
Yeah, it's great to be back here. I mean, sunny blue skies, a nice Saturday morning. What else can you ask for? I mean, the people have come from sort of the club season, off season, so there's a whole mix of skill level, fitness. You have the youngsters coming through, and it's just great to see it all mixed together, create new bonds, and just spend some time playing some rugby again. I mean, it's a two-way street. We give them some notes on skills and the training sessions, but then they bring a new energy level, just a new passion of, we want to step in, we want to show ourselves, and it makes us as the more experienced players need to step up our game and just remind them that yes, we should also be here as well, and we learn constantly from each other. We teach them, they teach us, and yeah, you just come here, you learn, you play rugby, and it's great. Yeah, I mean, a rugby team is nothing without the coach. You can always have a whole bunch of people running around, but the coaches, they tell you how to help, how to improve. They keep you guys together, give you the drills. They are the ones that, at the end of the day, put you out on the field, and they put their trust in you after you put your trust in them on the training pitch. And having known the coaches before and you already have that bond, it just helps that training process of knowing, yes, they know what's best for me and the team, and we can work together for a great result. Yeah, it proves that it's possible. You watched them on TV a few months ago and saw, I want to be like that player, I want to learn from them, if only I could be like them. You idolize these people, and then you show up on a Saturday morning and you're passing the ball with them, you challenge them on sprints, and it gives you such a drive to make yourself better so you can see yourself in that position one day and hopefully continue the legacy of rugby in the country.
This feature was brought to you by Mchem 24-hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks. Jerome, one of the elements that you guys are working on is you've got the club guys that are playing in the Dyes, are preparing, getting ready for January, February, some big competitions coming up. Obviously, a lot of that, you've got 70, 90 players. But at the same time, you're working with the women in terms of their high performance side on Saturday mornings.
Yeah, it's on Saturday mornings, JP, and also next year, the 23rd of January, we had a meeting with the women coaches. So we're going to also have a 6 weeks program with the women's team and all the women playing club rugby in Western Province. So we're going to have a similar program from the 23rd of January with them.
Now we know that one of the club rugby requirements, if you're a club in Western Province, is to have a women's portfolio representative. You need to have a woman at your club to be able to have conversations with regards to the promoting of women's rugby. Whether you've got competitions or not, teams or not, you need to have that portfolio representative. Can those women engage with you and make recommendations to get their players from their clubs into your space?
Yeah, they definitely can, JP, and we would encourage them and as much women as we can get. In the meeting, I must say, we had about 10, 12 representatives from clubs attending that meeting, and we actually showed them the footage, what we do with the guys in the program, and they were very happy, and they will see that the girls will come to the HPC to do the testing.
Nazim, that's of course important for you guys as well, is to be able to reach out to clubs and reach the right person at the club, and in this case you will reach the women's portfolio representative and ask them to send women coaches to your course.
Yeah, 100%. That is similar like we have now with the men. Is that that coaches is also opportunity to involve them into that structure and give them exposure at a higher level. So it's not only for the players, but it's also for the coaches. It's a benefit for them as well.
Right, folks. Well, of course, there you go. Very important then. All clubs have got women's rugby representatives, and if you are the representative at one of the clubs right now, please take note that you should in fact be gathering names already of women at your club who might be interested in joining one of the coaching courses or get involved in the plan for high performance specifically for women at your club. And get those ladies registered to come and do one of the coaching courses exclusive for women at Western Province Rugby. Fantastic opportunity. And remember, you don't need to have a team to be able to be a portfolio representative. Jerome, fantastic having you in studio. It's great to have you here. We look forward to getting you back next week.
Yeah, always good to be back, and see you guys next week.
Nazim, a real treat for us again, a rare favor. I would normally say we'll see you next week, but of course it's up to you.
Yeah, it's always nice to be on the show, and hopefully I'll be back soon.
Yes. You notice the delay there, Jerome. You've got to think about it. Right, folks, that's a wrap from us here this evening. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.